Ladies and gentlemen, football fans across the nation, buckle up because we have a massive bomb to unpack today, one that nobody saw coming, not analysts, not insiders, not even the most plugged-in beat reporters, because in a move that has absolutely rocked the NFL to its very core, the Dallas Cowboys have officially made a trade that will go down in franchise history as one of the boldest, most unpredictable, and possibly most impactful decisions of the modern era. The announcement has just dropped. Nick Chubb, yes, the Nick Chubb, Pro Bowl running back, powerhouse, and one of the most respected, feared, and resilient backs in the league, is heading to Dallas in a trade that has completely stunned fans, analysts, and players alike. Cowboys Nation is on fire, and for good reason. This move didn't just come out of left field, it came out of an entirely different universe, because if you had told anyone even 2 weeks ago that Nick Chubb would be wearing the star this season, you'd be locked out of every barbershop, sports radio show, and Reddit thread in America. And yet, here we are, staring at a reality that just flipped the NFC on its head. The Cowboys have landed a true offensive weapon, a downhill runner with elite vision, top-tier patience, and the kind of work ethic that you simply can't teach. And let me tell you, this isn't just a good fit on paper. This is a chess move by Jerry Jones and the front office that signals one thing loud and clear: they're all in. Super Bowl or bust isn't just a catchphrase anymore, it's the entire game plan, and the message to the league couldn't be louder. Dallas is coming, and they're bringing the thunder. So let's break down what this blockbuster means for the Cowboys, for Chubb, for the offensive identity of this team, for Dak Prescott's future, and of course, for the NFC playoff picture, because this trade has layers, folks, and we're going to peel back every single one of them. First, let's talk about Nick Chubb himself. We're talking about a guy who, before his injury, was easily a top 3 back in the NFL, someone who racked up yards with frightening consistency, someone who could change the course of a game with just one carry, and someone who brought not only production but quiet, professional leadership to a locker room. That's exactly what Dallas needs right now: a dependable, mature voice in an offense that at times has lacked composure in big moments. And while questions about Chubb's health remain valid after last season's gruesome injury, all signs point to him being back in game shape and ready to remind the world who he is. And if he's even 85% of the back he was at his peak, that's still a monumental upgrade for the Cowboys' backfield, which struggled last season to establish any consistent rhythm on the ground after moving on from Ezekiel Elliott and putting too much pressure on Tony Pollard, who, while explosive, isn't built to carry the load as an every down back. And now Dallas has thunder and lightning. They've got experience, balance, and someone who can punish defenses in the second half, bleed the clock, and protect leads. Do not underestimate what that means for time of possession, for keeping the defense fresh, and for giving Doc more flexibility at the line. Chubb's presence alone changes the entire structure of how defenses game plan against the Cowboys, because no longer can you sit in cover 2 all day and dare them to run. Now you have to respect the round game, and that opens up play action. It opens up those deep shots to CeeDee Lamb, and it forces linebackers and safeties to bite just long enough for routes to develop. This is the kind of trade that shifts the gravity of the entire offense, and honestly, it may also save Mike McCarthy's job if it works, because we know Jerry doesn't have endless patience, and he's made it clear that mediocrity will not be tolerated. But let's not forget, this trade didn't happen in a vacuum. It's part of a larger strategy, a new urgency that's been building quietly in Dallas after back-to-back seasons of frustrating playoff exits and fan unrest. Jerry Jones is in win-now mode, the window is closing, and every move from here on out will be about maximizing this current core, especially with contract questions looming around Doc and CeeDee. So this trade for Nick Chubb isn't just about today, it's about setting a tone. It's about reclaiming an identity that Dallas hasn't had since the mid-90s, the identity of a team that could run the ball at will, control the line of scrimmage, and wear down opponents late. And if Chubb returns to form, this offense is going to be a nightmare for opposing coordinators. But what did Dallas give up? That's the other part of the shocker. Sources say the Cowboys sent a second-round pick and a conditional 4th to secure the deal, which, if accurate, is highway robbery considering the upside, especially when you consider what running backs have gone for in recent years. This is a calculated risk, yes, but the price was extremely reasonable, and the upside is monstrous. Now, we need to talk about locker room impact, too, because Nick Chubb isn't a diva. He isn't someone who demands attention or HEA. D-lines, he's a grinder, a leader by example, a guy who earns respect through preparation and performance, and that fits perfectly with the Cowboys' current mix of personalities. He won't overshadow Doc, but he'll definitely help stabilize the offense, especially when things get chaotic. And let's be honest, chaos has defined too many big moments for the Cowboys in recent years now. With Chubb in the backfield, those moments might look a little different, a little calmer, more controlled, more methody. And let's not forget, this also helps the defense by extension, because a better run game means fewer 3-and-outs, more rest for the pass rush, and less pressure on Trevon Diggs and the secondary to make game-saving plays every week. Everything is connected, and Chubb could be the piece that balances the entire team. But let's talk about the shock factor, because this was one of the most tightly kept secrets in recent NFL memory. No leaks, no hints, just a sudden Woy-style bomb dropped on THE timeline, and it's been chaos ever since. The internet's melting down, ESPN's scrambling for updates, and fans are rushing to get their new 24 jerseys printed, because make no mistake, this is a culture-altering move, one that will be talked about for years, and the fact that the Cowboys pulled it off with minimal public chatter is a testament to how serious this front office has become about keeping things airtight and focused. But of course, with any big move comes big pressure, and the expectations on Chubb will be immense. He'll be expected to produce right away, to stay healthy, and to be the missing piece that finally gets the Cowboys back to an NFC Championship game. And you better believe the media will be watching every carry, every stat line, every press conference. But if there's one guy who can handle that pressure, it's Chubb. He's built for it, mentally and physically. And now, all eyes turn to Week 1, where he's expected to make his debut against none other than the Philadelphia Eagles. A brutal opening test, and one that could set the tone for the entire season. Imagine the storylines: Chubb versus that Eagles front, the rivalry renewed, the intensity off the charts, and you just know Jerry's going to have that game circled in bold, because this isn't just about winning games, it's about winning statements, winning moments, and showing the entire league that Dallas is no longer just hype and ratings. They're about business, and adding Nick Chubb to this mix just flipped the script completely. Fans who were skeptical a month ago are now fired up, hopeful, and maybe, just maybe, starting to believe again that this year could actually be different. That with a defense led by Micah Parsons, an offense now grounded by Chubb, and a quarterback with something to prove, the stars might finally be aligning in Big D. So there you have it, folks. The biggest bombshell of the offseason: Nick Chubb is now a Dallas Cowboy. And the NFL will never be the same again. Strap in, because the ride just got a whole lot more interesting.